What's up, everybody? This is Brian, Luke, and Jimmy from BingetownTV and Geekscape. In honor of 25 years of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone being released in theaters, we are debating some of the biggest points of contention in the Potterverse. We will be drawing questions from this Geekscape trucker hat. 4 slips of paper have questions by Matt Kelly, and 2 will require us to make up a question on the spot. So without further ado, boys, let's talk some HP. I think before we get started, it would be wise to kind of fill in the audience with what our level of expertise is. Luke, I'm going to pass it to you.
So I grew up on these books as every kid did. I'm 26 now. I probably read them for the first time early middle school. And since then, I've read through them 2 or 3 times. But it's been a couple years since I touched the books. But of course, I watch the movies every time there's a Harry Potter weekend or just anybody around me is talking Harry Potter. I'm always into that. So yeah, I'm not a book expert. Read through them a couple times and have strong opinions on them. But
Yeah, they came out for me in 3rd grade, I would say. And I'll just say that the best thing that ever happened was you're sitting in school and you're being read Harry Potter. You're going to a field trip to the Harry Potter movie 25 years ago. So, geez, I was 6, I guess. Wow. Is that true?
Whoa.
25 years ago. Wow. Okay. But yeah, we went to a field trip for Harry Potter. I saw Sorcerer's Stone and Chamber of Secrets for my field trip, so it was awesome. I've read the books probably 10 times each or so. Comfort reading, it's the comfort watch, man.
It's magic, baby.
It
Yeah,
is.
yeah. So my level of expertise, I will be the first to say I don't read nearly as much as I need to be reading. But of course, like everybody else, I did read the series once in my childhood. I've read it once as an adult as well. So that's where I'm at in terms of reading them. And like Luke said, every time ABC Family came with their Wizarding weekend, I was sitting on my couch for like 40 hours straight. So I've seen these movies at length multiple times. And I'm ready to talk HP.
Yeah. All right, so let's get this party started
Let's
here.
do
Who
it.
wants to pick the first one
I'll
for my
grab
nice
it.
Geekscape
I
hat?
got you right here. Troller asked the question.
Already.
All right, so I want your guys' top 2 favorite characters of the main ensemble and then the side characters, like little random characters that you just absolutely fell in love with. Could be book or movie form.
I really, really liked Sirius and Lupin, to be honest. They were 2 top ones for me. I mean, it's hard not to say someone from the trio or even Dumbledore. Do we count Lupin and Sirius as main characters, or are they more side to you?
I was actually going to count them as a main.
Okay,
Little bit
then
main.
yeah,
I want
those are
like
my 2.
obscure side characters.
Okay, those are my 2 main. All right, how about you guys give their 2 mains and then we'll move on to side.
My 2 mains, probably Dumbledore and Snape. I feel
Yeah.
like Snape was just, and especially when I take the movies into account because Alan Rickman was so good as Snape, but the character was
R.I.P.,
very
baby.
well written, and the entire series, you really don't know what's up with this guy. Like, why does he have it in for Harry so much?
Yeah.
And then you find out, and it all makes so much sense, and he becomes a very redeemable character who you've spent 6 books hating.
Yeah.
At least main character wise, I agree. Snape is totally up there. The end reveal, absolutely amazing scene. Even in the movie, like that was super emotional. You get to see the actual tear come down. Like all of that was just fantastic. And that's actually the wand I bought from Diagon Alley. The first time I went, I got Snape's wand.
I have
loved it.
Sirius.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna take the basic answer of I just love Harry. I guess it's because I was so young and it was my first real like epic level series. Harry is just so relatable. He has something there for pretty much anybody that would be picking up these books, just looking for a story about the chosen one that came from nowhere. I always love the relatable characters, like in the show, The Magicians. I die hard Quentin Coldwater fan.
Oh yeah.
That's such a good quality, is just being able, it sounds cliche, but being relatable is such a good trait in a main character. And I think Harry does it as he's one of the best.
He's one of the main characters that you'll see where you will universally see main or people say that he's their favorite. There is a lot of shows or movies where you don't pick the main character just because of certain tropes or something. But Harry, he's a good main character to pick. And if I wasn't going Sirius or Lupin, I would have went Harry.
Side characters, who sticks out?
You got one?
No, I really don't. There is one name that's coming to mind, and that's Cedric Diggory.
He's a good one, and
Robbie
that's why
Pattinson.
Cursed Child stinks. But
I've actually never read Cursed
oh,
Child.
you don't need to.
No,
I don't need to.
No, you do not.
I could have sworn that I got a recommendation from you, Luke, like right in the wake of you reading it. You were pretty jazzed about it.
So what happened for all the people watching and listening? Cursed Child came out, and me and Luke are family, so we were at the beach together, and a couple other Bingetown friends were there as well. And on the way to the beach, I bought us all a Cursed Child book to read on the beach because we were gonna get it as soon as it came out, and we were gonna read that thing. And we literally read it all in one day.
One beach sitting, just sat there, read the whole entire thing front to back.
And it was very, very nice to have Harry back, and I was happy to be reading Harry, but it wasn't anything. It's one of those things where you're reading it and you're like, you're happy that you're reading it, but then when it's done, you're like, nope, that wasn't worth it. So,
okay, but pre-Cursed Child, that is a valid answer.
yes,
for a good
100%.
side character.
Cedric's a good
And
character.
you said no need to read it, but if we're in the Potter fandom, I should read it, right?
Yeah, I mean, read it to get it done.
Yeah.
I would say that Cursed Child's play apparently is like magical, just like we're saying that the park is magical. It has raving reviews, and maybe it does come off better as a play. It's written as a play. That's the biggest problem that I have with Cursed Child is that JK came out and said that it was canon, which if you want to have the Cursed Child come out and be more Harry Potter material, it's basically, I'm not going to say shitty, but it's basically a fan fiction book written as a play. And because that's what it is, it's a play. And I would be 100% fine if you told me that wasn't canon. I'll read that and be like, okay, I'm done with it.
Yeah,
It was cool.
Yeah.
But the fact that I don't know if we want to get into it, but retconning a lot of stuff, changing a lot of the ways that you think about the first 7 books, I'm not into that.
I don't think we do want to get into it.
No, I don't think we do.
I appreciate that. That
maybe
insight,
maybe off Potter. You guys can message us and we'll talk about it.
I do want to put forward one side character though, and this is more movie specific because I loved how he was portrayed. Thought he was charismatic. Was Professor Slughorn in number 6?
I don't think he translates as well in the books.
Absolutely not. I don't even remember how memorable he was in the books, but in the movie he's just so funny. And also that movie has like the hilarious montage of when Harry drinks the
Felix
Felicis, and he is just like he's like on drugs. I don't know. He's walking around. He's so funny, and Slughorn pops up. That's just such a great scene.
He's like,
pincers.
He's like,
yes.
I'm gonna go with 2 here, and I'm gonna go with my boy Mad Eye Moody.
Okay.
I loved him both in the books and the movies. Constant Vigilance was killing it for me. I don't know if you guys remember that, but when he's introduced in book 4 and he's just screaming Constant Vigilance all in capital letters, it just got me every time. My next one's going to be Kingsley Shacklebolt, and that's because he's the GOAT, man. He showed what he had in the movies especially. Those are my 2.
Another side character for me because you asked for 2. Is it Percy who studies dragons and goes on to marry Fleur Delacour, or is that Bill?
That would be Bill.
Cool. Okay.
Oh, no, that would be Charlie.
Charlie. Yeah.
Do
Percy's the prefect. Bill is the next one, and then Charlie is the eldest who studies dragons and marries Fleur Delacour.
Bill marries Fleur. Charlie is.
So I just combined them.
Do that again because actually they don't bring Charlie up ever again after the first movie. Or he's not even in the movie. It's in the books. He picks up.
In the books. He's the one who helps give him
gets rid of
the Goblet of Fire stuff, right? Too.
In the books, he's in the first part when he picks up Norbert, and then he's in book 4 when he helps with the dragons.
Well, I'll tell you what, I became attached to that combined character that I just made up, but separately, they're not individually too impressive.
Charlie's definitely a side character, and he's cool because in the books, like he's got this broship with Hagrid because they like fantastical beasts. Like, I think that's a good choice, man. All right, let's go. You ready?
Yeah. Who's next? Speed Toms, pull one.
Yeah, I'll pull one. Best non-trio student.
Ooh.
And let's clarify this with Matt here. Is this who we think is the smartest or just a student like our favorite?
If you could take one student from Hogwarts and add them as a permanent fixture of the trio of characters.
Wow.
So they're included in everything in the main plot and okay, I like that. Let's see. I wouldn't pick Fred or George because I wouldn't be able to pick between them. You know what? I'm going to give her respect, dude. I'm going Luna, man. Let Luna be in it.
What a good answer.
Yeah, and actually, I can't believe I didn't put her as one of my favorites because she's not the GOAT, but she's great. She is great.
She is great. I got an answer here, and there's a reason I'm going to go with Dean Thomas.
Okay.
He had a fling with Ginny.
He's going to get right in the middle of Harry and Ginny, bro.
I hope he does. I hope that him and Harry, if he becomes the part of the trio and they become a quartet, then him and Harry assumedly will would be so close that after Dean has his fling with Ginny, Harry would not overstep his bounds and would never even approach
Ooh,
Ginny.
you don't
because
like
I
it?
thought it was dumb that Harry falls for Ginny. It was just
Ooh.
dumb.
I
Him and Hermione should have gotten together, but that's fine. And
I
that's
think
fine
that's
if
going to be in one of these, bro. Let's have a town hall, a binge town hall right now on that, because I would say that books, Harry and Ginny, I'm down with. I think that they wrote Harry and Ginny just fine in the books, and I was okay with it. The movies, they destroyed Harry and Ginny. There was nothing to them. They put them together very quickly and didn't give them any substance. You didn't give a shit about anything that they did together. When they had to have their little breakup at one point, you don't feel it. You don't feel it when they get back together. Don't care about it at all in the movies. And a lot of people, hey, Bonnie Wright, she's great. I'm not saying anything against her, but a lot of people in the fandom do think that they wrote Bonnie Wright's character incorrectly in the movies.
Yeah, I agree that she's not
she
the
was a little
greatest
bland.
in the movies.
Yeah.
And I'm totally in on Hermione and Harry in the movies.
Oh man, we're gonna have
I don't
a
know
fight,
if is
dude.
that like super hot takey, or do a
Yeah,
lot of people
no,
think that?
no.
J.K. Rowling even came out and said, in hindsight, Harry should have wound up with Hermione.
She said, like, analytically, it should have been Harry and Hermione. My heart
Mhm.
went with her and Ron. But I want to say that Ginny was so good in the books. Like, literally, she was fiery. She was a badass. She was the bat bogey
exactly.
freaking spell.
So I'm gonna have a unique answer and then a basic answer here. So
Okay.
so basic answer is I would probably just pick Neville, just because he's such a loved character. It would feel wrong because the whole purpose of Neville is like he's kind of like the parallel with Harry. He could have been the chosen one.
Yeah.
But you know, him being more front and center would have been able to highlight his character growth even more than we got. And the crazy character growth in the end when he kills Nagini is awesome. But we could have followed that a lot more closer, and it would have been awesome for me. But the unique answer, which kind of counts as cheating, is I would love if Harry Potter, the whole plot was written as the come up of Voldemort. So if Tom Riddle was like a main character in the Slytherin house, that would be such an interesting story.
Oh, so you're saying like was a part of Hogwarts while Harry was there?
Yeah.
Oh, and then was rising during Harry being there.
Exactly.
So instead of rising while Hagrid was there back in the day and when Dumbledore was the Transfiguration teacher,
it would have
if
been
it was main plot. Okay, that's cool. I mean, that would have made us get more books if we
Sure, because we would have had to jump a little bit, but and it also would have taken away from Dumbledore and all that. But whatever, you know, I'm just throwing
you're
out
just
a
throwing
fun
it out
answer
there. I like that.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Let's see what we got here. Oh, troller ass question.
Mm.
Bang, kill, marry. Let's say that in book 7 you had the 7 Potters, right? And he had to take the apology. They all took the apologies potion to protect Harry. Who would you have wanted to be the protector of Harry?
I straight up would say put me with Kingsley Shacklebolt. Like he seems like in the wizarding world, like he's like the tank.
That's why he was my boy.
Yeah, he seems like such a good fighter. And like you said already, he goes on to become the Minister of Magic. That's clout enough to know that his like power is just super high up there. I would have felt safe with him. If not, Hagrid's pretty good because I think isn't it said a couple times throughout the book like he's like super
he's got the giant
because he's got the giant.
Yeah, he's got the giant blood. So it's like in book 5 where he's getting blasted with the stunner spells and it doesn't take him
I think
out.
they made a great choice though, because they got chemistry too. They ride together.
Mad Eye wouldn't be a bad one, especially because of his eye that can like see 360 degrees, and he laid his life down on the line. So he's a trained or experienced one. He would be a good answer. But at the end of the day, yeah, my boy Hagrid.
You're gonna pick the only one that dies, bro?
Yeah, well, only because Fletcher sandbagged him.
Exactly. Yeah. Mundungus. No, end of the day, I'm picking Hagrid. Dumbledore lays down the law very early on in Sorcerer's Stone. He says when McGonagall says, "Can we really trust him to deliver this baby boy that means everything?" Dumbledore looks her dead in the eyes and says, "I would trust Hagrid with my life."
Got me right here, dude.
Dumbledore trusts him.
You got me.
I trust him.
I agree.
Hell yeah, man.
Hell yeah.
Love Hagrid.
Now, if analytically, I would say Kingsley as well, Luke.
Screw you.
But no, I'm with my heart. I'm going with Hagrid, dude.
Analytics.
Apparently, we're going to be talking analytics soon when it comes to Hermione.
Oh, we ready for another one?
Yep.
What is the best Hogwarts house? And we're gonna take it a step further. We want rankings here.
Ooh.
What is the best Hogwarts house, and why is it Hufflepuff?
Is any of us gonna say?
We got Matt fist bumping.
Tell me, any of you two are gonna say that Hufflepuff is not 4.
I go 4 for Hufflepuff. Yeah.
And the only reason I'm confident with that is Cedric Diggory the only person I can name from that house?
Newt Scamander.
That didn't change my mind even 1%.
I'll give you mine really quick. I'm just gonna go Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, and then Slytherin, and then Hufflepuff. Now it's tough because okay, so if we're gonna go book 7 in the epilogue and Cursed Child, then we could say that because all that happened, Slytherin's not really about like the dark magic and they're not associated anymore with the dark magic. Then I would probably go Gryffindor, Slytherin, Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff.
Gryffindor's 1, Hufflepuff is 4. They're all different. None are like good or bad. I'm gonna answer this. What would I most
Are
want
you
to be
all right?
placed in?
Let me ask you a question here. All
Yeah.
right, do you like logic and intelligence, or do you like ambition and pretty much just like doing what you gotta do to get to
Gryffindor's
the
the
top?
best house.
I'm talking.
Ravenclaw's behind Gryffindor.
Okay,
if
there
that's
you
what
go.
you're trying to
No,
ask
no. I
me.
was going Slytherin. That was Slytherin, and
really?
that was your other two, Slytherin
Huh.
and Ravenclaw. Gryffindor is bravery, bro, and I know
Yeah.
you're pretty brave, so you can go number 1 with Gryffindor.
I like Ravenclaw though for the intellect. I'll put Ravenclaw too. And Slytherin, you said was ambition at like any cost.
Oh yeah, that's their deal.
Is that like all their deal is? What are their redeemable qualities? Or
Well, that's the
ambition
point.
is a
Like you're
redeemable
almost
quality?
supposed
Yeah.
to think that they don't, only because they like put that stigma on them for most of the
Hell yeah,
books.
man.
I mean, they just like stomped on them in the movie. Jeez, wow. I would have to like fact check if it's in the book too, but when I'm pretty sure it's only in the movies when they're trying to give up Harry
Mhm.
and Slytherin trying to give up Harry and Professor McGonagall's like, Slytherin needs to decide finally if they want to be part of this school, and then basically she's like, "You guys are out." Like literally,
Yeah.
just says, "You guys get the hell out of here."
Wow, McGonagall would have been a great side
Yeah,
character.
she
by the way.
is,
She's
yeah.
awesome.
She's part of the main ensemble.
I think
Well,
so.
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Did you finish? Did you make your final decision?
He put Hufflepuff at the end.
Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, no, I'm sticking with it. Slytherin.
Okay.
I think you guys are just biased. I think you're biased.
You're right.
To the most.
You think Ravenclaw's won, don't you? Luke?
No, I don't think Gryffindor's that great. Like they just seem like okay. So first, I'm just going to take a step back and just say that the housing system is pretty crazy when you think about it. Like you're basically pushing kids to have a specific personality.
Yeah.
Right. You're trying to farm them into that personality, and that's
Yep.
just what the whole idea is. It's cool because it's like whatever it is, that's the sorting system.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. When you take a step back, I feel like Gryffindor are like pompous assholes a little bit. They're just like, the cocky main characters in their own head people. So I think Ravenclaw, because I feel like I
knew you were gonna
in
say
a real
Ravenclaw.
like war situation like they got into, Ravenclaws would be the strategist. They'd be in there, like you'd be listening to what they say. Gryffindors would be the frontline soldiers, like, all right, go take it for us, whatever. And then for me, you guys know what Pottermore is, B-Toms? You familiar with Pottermore?
Yeah.
Yeah, just like the officially associated J.K. Rowling kind of signed off expanded universe.
It's
of
where
Harry
she
Potter.
gave extra, canon.
Exactly.
And, yeah.
So a lot of people, when they say like, "What house are you in?" they refer to that quiz because
Yep.
that's like an official kind of housing quiz from her. And I play Slytherin.
You could totally cheat because you like
For
if
sure, you know what it
yeah.
is. Yeah. But I play Slytherin, and I try to be as unbiased as I can. And I do like one of my favorite pieces of information I like to tell people is when this conversation comes up is that like Merlin in the Harry Potter universe was a graduate from Slytherin,
Mhm.
like Merlin from the King Arthur, the whole
Right,
stuff.
right.
So I love that. And
Merlin's beard.
Yeah, exactly. So he's like
Yeah.
one of the goats of the Harry Potter universe. And to me, they do paint it in a terrible picture in the movies, and especially when you see the rooms. The Slytherin one just seems like uncomfortable.
It's like in the
They're
sewer.
the dungeons.
It's dark.
Yeah, they're in the
yeah.
dungeons.
Exactly. And Gryffindor's chilling with like these nice couches and all that.
Would you like to have to answer a damn riddle every time you freaking want to walk into your dormitory?
You're right. That would suck. That
Yeah.
would totally suck. But I think Gryffindor's number 3.
What would
Hufflepuff's still at the bottom.
Here's my question: how do you get into the kitchens?
It's okay. You got to tickle the pear.
Tickle that pear.
Yes, I can't believe I remember that. That's one of the most forgettable storylines of all of Harry Potter is
Yeah.
Spew.
Yeah.
Yeah, I cannot for the
Well,
life of me
that's
remember.
that's why she kisses Ron in book 7 because he says something about house elf. He said it's bullshit and says spew, and she goes what and kisses him.
Yeah,
They changed that in the movies.
whatever. I think we got the
Yeah.
rankings. We're all in agreement that Hufflepuff's the bottom. Sorry, Matt.
I was a Hufflepuff on Pottermore.
You were, huh?
Yeah.
Are you gonna wait till the end of the conversation to say that, huh?
Hey, I said it, didn't I? Did Hermione pick the wrong man?
We did kind of hit this one already.
Yeah, but we said we were gonna wait, and I'm gonna say, no, she did not. She picked Ron, and that was the right answer. I believe that J.K. knew from the very beginning. Luke said that she wanted Ron and Hermione to be together. it was planted. The seeds were planted from the very beginning, especially once we got into book 3 on. I think that if she would have wrote it differently, maybe like fine, but the way she wrote it, I would have been a little weirded out if they would have had all these seeds planned and then like later towards the end she's just like, nah, sorry Ron, I'm going to be with you Harry, just because analytically it makes sense. I thought that the added scene of Ron and Hermione dancing when they're by themselves when Ron leaves was like, I was like betrayed.
Dude,
Harry and
yes.
Hermione.
Harry and Hermione
Yeah,
are
yeah.
dancing when Ron leaves in movie 7, and like literally they stare at each other for a second, and it's like supposed to be like, are we assuming that they almost are gonna kiss? And I was like, dude, I'm like betrayed. This is not right.
I was gonna cite that specific scene when I gave my answer too, because like you're saying, like that kind of made you feel like it was a little bit real, or it was getting real in the movies, and everybody that's like a hardcore fan is like, what the heck's going on here?
Yeah.
But it didn't feel wrong, in my opinion. I feel like that maybe it was Rupert Grint and Emma Watson, and they just didn't have that many emotionally powerful scenes that did it for me, and that one kind of felt like it was emotional. And I vividly think of that scene when I think of part 1 and part 2 of books of movie 7. So I don't know. I'm fine with it either way. I'm not one of those people that has a super strong opinion on if Harry should have been with Hermione or if it should have been Ron, but because that's how JK imagined it, I guess we're just sticking with it, and it makes Ginny have a purpose and stuff like that. So
The books have there be a little jealousy throughout because Ron thinks that Harry's the chosen one and is jealous of him and thinks that, why am I good enough for Hermione because, I'm not the chosen one. And then Hermione tells him like, you are. I mean, analytically, JK would say,
that word one more freaking time.
Analytically, JK said that it makes sense that they should have been together because they're alike. But since when does that mean you have to be together? We know from Cursed Child, which is canon. Sorry, Brian, but if Hermione doesn't be with Ron, she becomes a grumpy old teacher who everyone hates at Hogwarts. So
yeah,
there you go.
Look at the analytics guy over here.
Analytically, I say.
So to put in my 2 cents.
Analytically, though, what would you say?
Analytically, if we're tackling this from an analytical perspective, purely analytical, that is. No, Jimmy, I think you're completely right. The way the books were written, it makes a lot of sense that they end up together, and it was satisfying that they do. If I were to just look at the characters individually as 3 of them, I think that Harry and Hermione would have made a more likely would have made a more likely endgame couple than the other 2 would have, just based on what the characters are bringing to the table. But like you said, similar people don't always attract that way.
Right.
And to bring up the scene that you guys were talking about in Deathly Hallows Part 1, where Hermione and Harry kind of slow dance, I never really thought about that as, oh my gosh, is this becoming a romance thing? Like, are they going that direction? I thought that was an acknowledgement from Harry's end that Hermione cared that way for Ron. And he saw that Ron leaving, she was in a bad place, and he stepped up as the best friend, completely 100% platonic, but we need some, human affection here, for goodness sake. We're best friends of 7 years. Like, get up here. We need to smile. We need a reason to smile and have fun. And I thought that was a very tender moment for their friendship. And to bring that full circle, I think it almost solidified that Hermione and Ron should have been together, because not a thought in my head that Harry was going to make a move and lean into kiss. That was just completely platonic.
Right.
And that's what made it feel real. And Luke, you said it didn't feel wrong when they were doing that. I think that's why, because it was completely platonic.
Yeah. The writers came out and pretty much said that what you said is exactly what they were going for.
Right.
So I obviously had no thoughts in my head as well that they were going to kiss, because I obviously know what happens in the book. So I knew it, but at the same time, I was like, I don't need any of this tension. It could play off either way, your way or my way. And I don't know how it came out totally to the Potterverse. I know other people agreed with me and other people agreed with you, but there was no tension whatsoever in the books, and I just wasn't accepting there being any tension in the movie.
Yeah.
Just felt like their relationship, Ron and Hermione's, was just so signed, sealed, delivered, even from me reading it the first time, the books, like so early on, that I guess it doesn't really, it's just more of like a what if scenario rather than it should have been this way. Like
we cover a show called What If, I think.
It's just a mental
think we
exercise.
might
Like
have.
there's no real. You're right. Like the entire story would be changed front to back.
Literally, I would say all the way from book 3 at the latest, almost, I would say,
That
would
major
be
changes.
changed.
Yeah.
You know, book 4, major changes, obviously with the dance, the Yule Ball, and all that stuff, and them having the tension because she looks pretty and she goes with someone else, and he asks her, and he wants to ask her, and then he's being a weirdo about it, like a 12-year-old about it, because they are. But yeah, so much would have to change, and I don't know. Maybe if it was written differently, I would think differently. All right, last one. Best Hogwarts teacher.
Oh, I mean,
That's a good
McGonagall would
one.
have been a great answer for that. Depends what you mean. Like favorite.
Of all time,
Can I add anybody that Harry ever referred to as a professor?
Yeah.
well, he
Is
said
that fair?
Professor Dumbledore to Dumbledore.
I know the rule that I just put in place.
All right.
Honestly, maybe I'm biased by the movie, but I think Professor Lupin was the best.
The
dude.
GOAT.
Is that who you were thinking of,
Yeah.
P-Toms?
I was
Yeah, because
thinking
I
of him
just
too.
read the book and I was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
Lupin is the homie.
Yeah,
he's
he's the
the
man.
only one that like cared.
He
Yeah.
At
was
all.
such a good professor. And even if you take like the small, don't really matter that much moments of this is only in the forefront of my head because we watched this movie this weekend, but like the moment when Harry's walking through the castle and he has the Marauders map and then
Mhm.
Snape rolls up on him
Yeah.
and like he's getting wrung out, he puts the map away, whatever, and then Lupin comes in and saves the day and he knows exactly what it is, and unless you know,
Yeah.
you don't really
And
know.
that's when
Yeah,
he kind of calls him out and is like, yo, bro,
dude,
where'd you get
yes.
that map? But also,
Yes.
now we're talking a fraud Mad Eye Moody, but he saved Harry's ass too when he got caught. He had the invisibility cloak and he got his foot stuck in the stairs and Snape was looking for him, remember? And then Mad Eye kind of
Yeah, but
interrupts.
that was Fudge, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying no.
Crouch.
Or
It's,
Crouch.
yeah, but I'm saying
Crouch, pardon.
I said
Yeah.
fraud. Yeah, I said the fraud Mad Eye.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like he was the homie at the time, obviously because he just wanted the map and he
Oh
wanted.
no, we don't count him unless you're gonna pick Barty Crouch Jr. Jesus. But the other cool thing with Lupin was just because like he had all that history with Harry's dad, but he understood the weight of having to make sure Harry was like good to go because
Yeah.
like he understood, he knew what Voldemort was and like what this curse actually meant, him being the chosen one. Like he had some idea of how important this was, and that's awesome because
Mhm.
like so many professors, even like McGonagall, like she knew too, but she didn't really go that out of her way to prep the chosen one.
Yeah.
Where Lupin was like all in, like he was taking after
Not to
classes with
prep,
him.
but she was very invested in helping to protect him.
But
She
that
was.
seemed more like a motherly of the Gryffindor, like collectively, rather than Harry specifically. I just love the whole idea that Lupin knows that this is more important than whatever he's got going on with Hogwarts service level.
I think they just straight up played him off better as a specific teacher, like caring teacher, cares about his subject, isn't like very stern. Like McGonagall was like a hard ass,
Yeah.
and that's not going to be my favorite type of teacher. I would go Lupin as well, but I'm sure Dumbledore was a phenomenal teacher. I
Yeah.
mean, Jesus. But I'm sticking with Lupin. He was who I thought of first.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with McGonagall actually, because I kind of do gravitate towards that. Kind of just strict, commands respect to the room. Obviously, everybody, if you talk to McGonagall for 5 seconds, you know she's an uber talented wizard. She just commands respect from people, and she was a very good mentor for all the Gryffindors. I like that that's kind of the professor that we get the most screen time or book time of, if you will. Like she's always around. She plays a very pivotal role, and the actress who did it was phenomenal too.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, McGonagall's amazing.
I want to also shout out Slughorn again, because if you're taking like electives, like that's what I'm going for. I'm making Slughorn be my professor.
Well, you'll be one of his favorite students, so you get to go to. You're in the Slug Club.
Hell yeah!
Oh,
But
can
you
I
would
be
have-
your +1?
Yeah. All right, so let's end this podcast strong. This podcast and this video. I want to ask you two, what death throughout the series, all 7 books, all 8 movies, hit you the most?
I kind of want to steal it just because I feel like we might have a crossover answer here.
Do it.
But all right, so I'm gonna pick Sirius Black. I thought that his death was so good because it sucked so much as a viewer and audience member, because it's right as Harry's about to have a chance at somewhat of a family life.
Yep.
So it feels like he's working this whole movie towards eventually going back. Like he's always referencing Sirius and like wanting to live with Sirius when he doesn't have to be on the run as much anymore. And he keeps getting so goddamn close until Bellatrix Lestrange. Love her too. I
Yeah.
can't believe I didn't shout her out.
Whoa,
One of
yeah.
my other
characters.
one of my other questions was going to be favorite Death Eater, and that would have been
Dude, and the fact that she's the one that kills Sirius in front of Harry, like it just felt like he was so close to happiness, and it just gets ripped from him.
Mhm.
And then like I don't know, like in the movie they do such a good job because he doesn't, and I guess the book too, because in the book he passes through the archway, right?
Yep.
And
Yeah,
Harry
the
doesn't know
veil.
that he died. He says in the book, like, I'm just gonna go check
Go
on the
get
other
him.
side of it,
Yeah.
and he does,
And
and
then
it's just
Lupin's the one who grabs him and
it's
says,
so
"He's gone,
like
man. He's gone."
heartbreaking. And then Bellatrix, I killed Sirius Black. That's just so
Mhm.
amazing and iconic.
You coming to get me?
Mm.
Yeah, that's a really good one. There's a lot, man. To be honest, Dumbledore was big. I might go Fred. I think
Mm.
Fred was a big one.
That one felt the most surprising is why. Like I didn't think that they were gonna kill Fred.
If I would have said to you, Brian, who dies, Fred or George, would you have known?
Yeah,
Fred is dead. George is missing an ear.
And do you know how Fred died, Brian?
it was in the Battle of Hogwarts. Did he have debris fall on him?
Yeah,
it was like the
yeah,
wall
yeah.
busted open right next to
That
him, right?
sucks. I wish he just got Avada Kedavra. That's a better way to die in the wizarding world.
Yeah.
I could die from debris.
Yeah, right. I can't remember it fully how it went down, like how I felt when I was watching the movies, but when I was reading, I was like, ugh.
I'm gonna go with Dumbledore only
Yeah.
because it was at the very end of book 6, and you just know that the tide in the war is shifting. And if this is a game of chess, the good guys just lost their queen in Dumbledore. He's just out, and Voldemort just became a triple queen or something like that. That's really what it is. It's just you whip out the queen on the good on the. You just ruined everything I was trying to say. No, you take out the strongest person in that faction, and Voldemort's just coming back to power. Death Eaters are coming out of the woodworks. Like it seems hopeless in the wake of that. Harry just kind of learned what Horcruxes generally were, and you assume that Dumbledore was going to be there to hold his hand through the remainder of the story, and then he just dies, and you're like, well, what the hell is he supposed to do now? Like the odds are so far against him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus Dumbledore was everybody's favorite character.
Oh, yeah.
And then the movies did it so good with like McGonagall leading the charge when
Mm.
she puts the I guess it's the Lumos light up, and
Yeah.
then they all put it up and they get rid of the dark mark. That was a pretty cool moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess some quick shout outs, I guess, would be Dobby's death was pretty.
Oh, my God. Why did I not say Dobby? That's the one
I
that hit me the
thought
most.
one of you two was gonna pick Dobby.
Wow,
'cause
that's
just
ridiculous.
like an iconic one. And
No,
it's just
you know
super
what? I'm
sad.
taking mine back. Definitely Dobby.
Yeah,
Fred.
yeah, that is
Yeah, what?
surprising that you picked Fred.
Really? Yeah. I mean, I'll stick by Fred being up there, but no, Dobby's definitely my number one.
Mhm.
Wow. Can't believe I didn't say that.
I got another good question specifically for Sorcerer's Stone here because we didn't talk too directly about it, but
Mhm.
I want to say that we need to each give our favorite quote from the movie because this is one of the most quotable movies ever. And listen, this guy back here, Brian, man, ever since we were kids, has been quoting Harry Potter so much that it became just like naturally part of our verbiage whenever we were just talking with friends. And skip ahead 10, 15 years, still saying these few one-off lines. That is just the second we talked about podcasting on Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Brian's like, yeah, hell yeah, that's my freaking movie. And you listed out a couple of the quotes right off the bat, and that was the first thing I thought of too. It's so quotable, the whole series. Would you guys have any specific quotes you love from this movie?
Well, let's let Brian take the lead here.
Just number one with a bullet, dude. Give it here, Malfoy.
Yes.
That iconic scene on the brooms.
For the remember all.
I
For
feel
the
like
remember all.
I feel like you've sent that as a gift to us a few times in the
Give it here,
Bingetown chat.
Malfoy.
Always, man.
I still say that when I want someone to like pass me a stapler, I'll just look at Luke, be like, "Give it here, Malfoy."
Me and Kathleen, fellow Bingetown homie, say it's the wizard's chest a lot.
My favorite out of context, but I don't remember what's said in, like before and after, but it's on the chess board at the end, and Ron's talking. He's like, "Not me,
Yeah.
not Hermione, you."
Yeah. Well, he did pretty good, actually.
I do want to say, what were the couple gripes I had with Sorcerer's Stone, the movie? Number one is that they took out the whole trial with the potions,
Yes.
where
Yep.
that was Hermione's time to shine,
Yep.
which was kind of lame. They took that out. I mean, number two, so much of the plot is advanced just because Hagrid tells him something he's not supposed to. He name drops Nicholas Flamel
Mm-hmm.
with regards to the Sorcerer's Stone, and he also just tells them all you have to do to get past Fluffy is play some music.
Well, that's in
Boom.
both.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
it's still like Oh,
Yeah, you're
Hagrid's
well,
just
that's why
spilling the beans.
you just gotta
again.
remember you're reading this in 3rd grade, man. You know,
Mhm.
it's for young kids to start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will also point out how much I always loved Quirrell, and like how freaky it is, the idea of Voldemort being on the back of his head when he takes off the whole wrap.
Yep.
Like that was always just something that stuck with me as a kid, because that's probably the only like quote unquote real moment in the first book that matters long term.
Yeah.
Just because it's Voldemort, and it's just so scary. And then like the whole Sorcerer Stone popping up in his pocket. I think the whole ending montage, outside of them skipping the potion trial, was just so good. And I totally was going to bring that up too, Brian, because I love the potion trial. I remember just sitting there with
Yeah.
like a pen and pencil, trying to so hard to figure out, is it the tall bottle, is it the brown bottle, like figuring out
Yeah.
which one was poison.
Did you figure it out?
I don't think you can.
I don't think I don't think
there's
it,
not
yeah.
enough clues without like
There's something missing that you
yeah, but I do remember trying so hard when I was younger. I think I'm good. I freaking love Harry Potter though, and this made me want to watch another movie. I'll tell you that right now.
I'm picking up Goblet of Fire like this week. 100%. I wanted to say tonight. That was a little bold.
Yeah.
We'll say this week for sure.
Yeah, man.
This was a fun one. We don't get a lot of chances to talk Harry Potter on the podcast, so I think the three of us really enjoyed this. Like we said at the beginning, we are Bingetown TV, so keep an eye out for our continued coverage of all things television. Any TV show that you've ever watched ever, we cover it. So
or we will be.
Shouldn't have much trouble finding some of our material. As always, if you like what you heard, give Bingetown TV a follow on Twitter and Instagram. Visit us on bingetowntv.com and subscribe to our show on Spotify, the Apple Podcast app, or wherever else you may find your podcast. Once again, we are Bingetown TV, and thanks for listening. Woo!